Hello, my wonderful students. This is Mrs. Darmody speaking. And this particular video, I wanted to give you an overview of how you actually get to all of the instructional resources, instructional videos, screenshots of code, etc., that you can access through my extended learning website, as well as the Google Classroom and code.org, to try to alleviate confusion about where to find things. So first of all, if you haven't already gotten into the Google Classroom, you would need to go to the Beckwith website, which you can see right here. You can do a search for it, bms.drregional.org, and then you come to the Beckwith Middle School website. And then you would come down here, you'd scroll down, and you would see the link to the Extended Learning website. So you can click on that link, and that takes you to our district's Extended Learning website. And then, of course, you're looking for Beckwith, so you want to go to Middle School Resources. And then you would scroll down to Dorothy L. Beckwith Middle School, our wonderful middle school. And this is where you would see the list of the virtual learning links for each of the teachers in our building. For me, of course, you're going to be looking for Mrs. Darmody. So you would click on my name. And when you click on my name, it would take you to my virtual learning template that was created by the district. And this is just a way to, if you hadn't already got into my Google Classroom, you would begin here. Most of you have already gotten into my Google Classroom, but some still haven't. So I'm creating this video to help with that process. So here's my virtual learning platform, and you can see that I have a link to my regular teacher website, and then I have specific instructions for each grade level. So for the 5th grade, I've got the information here with the code, Google Classroom one-time join code. For 6th grade, and then here we are for 7th and 8th. So for 7th and 8th grade students, for this year, you're actually working on the same curriculum. So if you have not already done so, you want to make sure you join the Google Classroom as soon as possible so you can receive credit for your computer class this year. You want to check the stream for class announcements regarding assignments that are all located in the classwork section of the Google Classroom. It seems that some students are confused about where to look for classwork, and that's where you need to look. The stream is really just for class announcements. The actual classwork or links to the classwork are in the classwork section. Make sure that you log into the code.org website using your school Google account to complete assigned lessons in order to get credit for computer class. The one-time join code for your Google Classroom for 7th grade is here. And please remember that because we're working on the curriculum on the code.org website, I'm not listing each lesson in our Google Classroom because all the lessons are actually on the code.org website. All assignments are posted for the remainder of the year, so students can work at their own pace, because I know not everybody completes things exactly at the same time, which is totally fine. For 8th grade, it's a similar process. The only difference is the join code for the Google Classroom is different. If you're not familiar with how to join the Google Classroom, here are the steps. You would go to your Google Classroom and sign in. And you actually go here. This is the Google Classroom grid. If you weren't already there, you go to the Google Classroom. You come here. Obviously, your screen looks a little different than mine because I'm in the teacher view. But this is your 7th grade, 8th grade, 6th grade, 5th grade. So let's go into 7th grade. So now that once you're into the Google Classroom, the stream, I want to remind you very strongly, the stream is not where the assignments are posted. The stream is only for class announcements. And you'll notice that I have a class announcement here. The latest one is, I usually try to keep it at the top, Please don't forget to watch the instructional videos that I've posted. Some I've created as well to help you work through the lessons for code.org. So code.org, the code.org website has built-in curriculum, built-in instructional resources, built-in instructional videos, etc. But I've created or posted some additional things that will provide more assistance as you complete the lessons, particularly since you're working at home. So this is a video about that. And this particular video basically walks you through just about everything in lesson 3. Okay, so that is also in our classwork section, by the way. And then this particular announcement I posted on May 4th. And this is saying that by now, by May 4th, which is past, you should be working on lesson 4 in the CS Discoveries curriculum on the code.org website. You must complete the lessons and all activities in order, or you will become lost and confused, and you most likely would be unable to complete the curriculum lesson successfully. So I kind of equate it to math classes. You're not going to skip ahead to multiplication and division if you haven't learned addition and subtraction first. Okay. Very important, I am checking student progress in the curriculum. For any assessment activity, the assessment activities are the purple bubbles or purple circles. I'm evaluating the activity using the built-in rubric that is right in the activity itself. And I'm providing specific feedback to each student directly on the code.org website within that activity. So you should go back and fix the activity as needed, so that way you get full credit. Whenever a student fixes or corrects an assessment activity, please let me know via the question areas I have set up on our classwork page, so I can go in and recheck your activity to give you credit. Please also remember that I've posted and continue to post specific instructional videos with screenshots of examples of how the correct coding blocks might look for actually almost all or many of the important assessment lesson activities, and that's listed under the code.org extra help topic on our classwork page. So that's over here. Please follow the following tips and keep these in mind as you work through the lessons and activities. The X and Y coordinates that you use for the rectangle and square shape should be where you want the top left corner of your rectangle or square to show up on the computer screen. The X and Y coordinates you use for an ellipse or circle shape or sprites should be where you want the center of that elliptical or circle shape or sprite to show up on the screen. The order of the coding blocks in your coding script is all important, since the order determines when and where things show up on the screen. For example, if there are layers in your project, layers of pictures and shapes, the bottom layer should be the first group of code in the script, and the top layer of your picture would be the last group of code in the script. Finally, coding blocks that define a background, object, or sprite should be listed before you tell the computer to draw the background, object, or sprite in the screen with XY coordinates. So in other words, you define the parameters, you'll define the color, you'll define whether it has a border or not, you'll define various aspects before you tell the computer to draw it on the screen. Okay. Then if we go down to one of my previous announcement, this was about completing lesson 3. And this kind of repeats some of the things I put in the later post. And this was the beginning. And here are the due dates. Now, these due dates are not firm. I don't want anybody to get stressed out about it. These are estimated completion dates. That's probably a better way to characterize it. Lesson 3 should have been finished by April 24th. Lesson 4 by May 8th. Lesson 5 by May 22nd. Lesson 6 by June 5th. And then Lesson 7 by June 19th. Again, these are estimates. If you work on these periodically during the week, you should be able to complete these well within the time frames I've mentioned. particularly with the help I provided. So now if we go up into the classwork section, which is really where you want to be most of the time, other than code.org, you have my contact information. Now, if you have a question about lessons 1 through 3, you should post something here to ask me the question. Oh, there is one question. Well, I'll look at that later. And then if you have any questions about lesson 4, you post here, and lessons 5 here. If you don't have any questions about the lessons, you don't need to post anything there. Then we have, this is the real meat of the help things that I posted. So we have the introduction to video to code.org, which is a little over 10 minutes. And this essentially is a video I created to help you learn what to do. Before you even do the code.org, you should be actually watching this video. I've assigned you Unit 3, Chapter 1, which is animations. There are 14 lessons. I'm only expecting that you would be able to do the first 7 because I've basically cut the requirements in half because of the fact that we're not even at school. So I'm hoping you complete 1 through 7. If you go further, that's great, but I certainly don't expect it. You have to do the lessons in order, and you should do so without skipping any of the activities. The only thing you would be skipping are the activities that are the offline activities. You don't need to do those. So the goal here is for you to complete a lesson every 2 weeks, essentially. Okay, so you can watch that video on your own. And then the next thing is the Google how to log in. So I posted a video about how to log in, and I made it a graded activity because I want to give you credit for logging in. And then there's an overview for lesson 3. And for lesson 3, what I have here is 2 videos to help you with that. One was a video that was created by someone else. And then there's my video that's more extensive that basically walks you through just about every activity in lesson 3. Then there's lesson 3, just a lesson overview, lesson 3, number 9, which is an assessment activity. And again, I've given you extensive instructional help here with a video. Oh, these are actually 2 screenshots. Okay, it's because I already have the video. That's right. So this is the screenshot of what the code would look like when you're done with lesson 3, number 9. Okay. So I basically tell you how to do it. And then if we move on, there's lesson 3, number 10, an explanation, so on and so forth. What you want to remember to do here, you'll notice it says view more. Don't forget to click on view more because I have everything in order by lesson and activity. So we click on view more, and then you can see I've got several things for lesson 4, lesson 5, lesson 6. This is a really important activity, Snake in the Jail. Lesson 6, scene with text. And then lesson 7, number 4, lesson 7, number 5, number 9, 10, and 12. Okay, I do have more, but I don't want to overload you with too much. So please keep that in mind. And when you want to look at your grades, you can do so by looking, you don't see your grades there, I don't think. I think you have to click on your actual lesson. But that should help you. And then finally, in code.org, when you're going to code.org, you should be continuing with Google because you don't set up a separate login. You use your regular Google login. And there we go. And then once you're in there, okay, you begin your lessons. My screen looks a little bit different. And you go right in. And I can check your work. I can see the number of students that have joined. I can go in. I'm not going to go into that now. But when I go in here, I can see which lessons you've completed. Now, remember that just because the bubble turns green for the regular activities or purple for the assessment activities does not mean those activities are necessarily completed. All it means is that you actually went into the bubble to do some work. So what I do is I actually go into the bubble, look at your specific activity to review it and look at the code to make sure you did it properly. The ones that I'm really looking at for grading purposes or evaluation are the purple circle activities. But that doesn't mean I'm not checking anything else. It just means I'm not actually grading the other activities. I'm looking at them to make sure you did them, but I'm really closely looking at the purple circle assessment activities for grading purposes. So I hope this is helpful. But remember, all the activities are here on the code.org website. And when you are done, you want to make sure you sign out. And I think that is it for now.